Hi, everyone. It's Norman Kochnick. I've actually started about 5 minutes early, only because Siddharth's talked his head off already and talked some great stuff that should be on air. It shouldn't be wasted to a private conversation. So you'll notice that when we start, Siddharth, there's a bit of a delay, and then they announce to everybody that we're on. So there seems to be a bit of a delay. So welcome, everyone. We're actually 5 minutes early. Some people are probably scrambling with their cups of coffee now and probably aren't really ready for us to start. But Brahma Rani was here earlier, so was Manu John. But they'll be here in a minute. We're all a bit early. So just a bit of I had a good day today. So this is a bit of a private thing. My South Sydney Rabbitohs, as you probably know, made the grand final. It's happening on Sunday. It's a big deal. They're playing the Penrith Panthers, and I was live on Rabbitohs TV today. It was a lot of fun. We went into a guy's place who was a sports historian for rugby league, into his home, and he's got all these incredibly bounded books, original documents from 1908.
Wow.
Everything's original. It's like you being involved in cricket and having everything from the 1800s, every single published book of every single game in a cupboard.
That's a collector's item, real collector's item.
Can you imagine that? He has a certain player that passed away, a very famous rugby league player called Clive Churchill. His wife, who's now 94, gave him the eulogy from his funeral, the original documents. So all these people who pass away, their wives who eventually pass away, in their wills or in their estates, all the original documentation has been given to this man.
Wow. The final is in Perth, right? The final is in Perth, isn't it?
That's AFL. That's Australian football.
AFL. Oh.
That's a different match altogether. That's not rugby league. Rugby and rugby league both came from England. AFL came from somewhere in Victoria.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah,
but it's a good time for rugby in Australia. I mean, you defeated the Springboks twice. That itself is huge.
Yeah, we're doing okay there, but no one's watching because AFL's on the nose at the moment. We've lost out quite considerably. So what's going on here? RCB at the moment. Now we'll talk about today's game, which is game 43. I can't believe it's game 43. We've already gone through stuff. This will be the 14th since the or 15th, effectively, since the restart, the stage 2 or the second leg, and we've got Bangalore as in RCB. Like, people are now starting to call them Bangalore versus Rajasthan. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
Akash Chopra, even Harsha Bogle, everyone's starting to call them by not their full titles. And I'm intrigued as to why that is. They're not saying RCB and SRH. They're actually saying Hyderabad, Bangalore.
I think somewhere down the line it must have to be doing with the restrictions on, I think, because for a lot of websites and broadcasting platforms, you're not allowed to use the full name because it's patented by the IPL. So maybe it can go into copyright infringement, maybe. So that's why for many websites, you can't say Royal Challengers Bangalore. You have to say Bangalore. Or Sunrisers Hyderabad, only Hyderabad. No Chennai Super Kings, only Chennai.
Because it's becoming, well, now that it's played effectively in the UAE as well, at least this tournament, it must cause some grief because when I talk about Vivo IPL, Debashis, for example, always says, no, don't call it Vivo IPL, let's call it IPL.
Yep. Just like
so,
yep.
Because, and Foxtel cover it in Australia, Vivo don't cover it in Australia, for example. What's Vivo? Vivo is a
Chinese mobile company. Chinese mobile company.
Really? A Chinese mobile company?
Yes.
Interesting. All right, we're a bit slow. People are not quite here yet. They're people are very religious with their times. They'll come. But
yeah.
So what do you think so far? We've got some, as I said, all teams have played 10 games. Some have played 11 now, which is interesting. Effectively, you're looking at a situation now where we're starting to encroach upon the teams that can and cannot win. or at least be made to make the semi. Sunrisers Hyderabad, we know are out. They're gone. We know that for a fact, don't we?
Mathematically, they're still in. Mathematically.
Mathematically, my foot. They got no hope.
Yeah, they looking at the way how they're performing, no hope. But yeah, if KKR, Mumbai, and Punjab lose their remaining games, then SRH can creep up to fourth. It can happen.
Okay, I'll talk realistically here as opposed to wishful.
Yeah.
Chennai Super Kings and Delhi Capitals are through. That's certain.
All but through. Yeah. They need one more win.
They're gone. They're there. Although I was a bit disappointed with Delhi Capitals last night. They capitulated pretty easily, pretty poorly. I mean, the importance of Prithvi Shaw is there, the opening partnership with Shikhar Dhawan, because even though Steve Smith did okay, there was something missing. So Chennai and Delhi are through. Okay. Bangalore, who I would argue should be winning tonight, they played well the previous time. They're only one win away after tonight from making it as well. You would argue they're pretty much there anyway. 14 points, 16 points, they're through.
Yeah.
So really, and then Hyderabad are out. So really, we're talking about four sides playing for the fourth position. KKR and Mumbai are the two teams which are most likely to be the ones, and Punjab and Rajasthan are probably the less likely of those four. Was that a fair summation?
Yep, totally fair summation. The team that could totally flip that table up is Kolkata Knight Riders. They're starting to play, they're starting to win, but they're also losing in spectacular fashion. I mean, they almost won against Chennai. They almost won that last ball. Could have gone to the super over. You don't know what would have happened. Sunil Narayan is a master in super overs. So yes, Kolkata have the capability. I think Mumbai are peaking slightly too late. I think the horse has bolted for them. Well, they lost 3 games.
Yeah, but they won yesterday pretty well. They did a pretty good job, didn't they?
They did.
And I'm just looking at who Mumbai Indians are playing in their last 3 matches. They're playing as pretty easy sides.
Yeah, they're playing against, after the Punjab match, they're playing Delhi.
Well,
they're playing Delhi. That'll be a big match. Then they're playing Rajasthan and Sunrisers.
So they should win those 2 matches. It's all going to come down to that Delhi match, to be honest with you.
Again, let me tell you one thing, Norman. We are not yet seen the traditional Delhi Capitals slump in the middle. It's not happened yet. It will happen.
Well, a start happened last match. What are you talking about? That was a horrific score.
Yeah. But
so
I think,
oh my God, if that does happen, if Delhi Capitals do have a slump and Mumbai win their 3 matches, they're only through if KKR don't win their 3 matches. Because if KKR win their 3 matches, they're through with a better net run rate. Wouldn't you argue?
Yep. See, the Delhi slump will happen. Some point in time it will happen. Whether it happens now or it happens in the league matches, we don't know. In the playoffs, I don't know. But yeah, KKR are taking on Punjab, Sunrisers, and Rajasthan Royals. So actually, KKR have got the easier draw, if you have to look at it.
Yeah. KKR are the threat. They should have. Well, what was the game yesterday? That was between KKR and Mumbai.
Delhi Capitals.
Capitals,
which they won.
That game is now proving to be. If Delhi had beaten KKR, would have opened it up again for Mumbai. But the fact, do you think there's any chance that Delhi didn't try it and wanted KKR to win to get rid of Mumbai? Could that be at all possible?
No. I don't think so. No. I think it was very good bowling by KKR, very good batting. Delhi just didn't adjust to those slow conditions. And the match was played in Sharjah, if I'm not mistaken. Look at the nature of the pitches that are happening in Sharjah. They're all becoming slow. Very slow wickets. We might not see high contests there. If the T20 World Cup matches are in Sharjah, we might not see that big scores. Very slow wickets in Sharjah.
Well, the fact that there was no 6 hit by Delhi Capitals on that ground, which is very, very small ground, was a bit of a shock, wasn't
it? Yep. That was very, very surprising indeed. So Delhi, if they win 1 game, they are through. They'll be the first team to qualify.
Well, Delhi's through now.
If they,
They're through now. They're through now. Oh, you mean in
yeah,
terms
because
of
they're on 16.
Are you talking about
But
in the
man,
semi-finals itself?
But man, Delhi have got a really tough contest coming up. They've got 3 tough contests: Mumbai
Yeah.
Indians, Chennai Super Kings, Royal Challengers Bangalore. Those are the last 3 games.
And they surprisingly can afford to lose all those matches and still get through. So that's not a good thing, though, for their momentum. But yeah, look.
Yep.
Oh, geez, I hope we don't see that happen. Delhi should not let that happen.
Yeah.
But the way CSK are playing, they're playing so in control, aren't they? They seem to just. And Faf du Plessis, for example, you know, he's. Oh, there's some
And
really
he's
weird.
not there in the South Africa T20 team.
That's bizarre. Nor is Chris Morris, nor is Tahir. Some bizarre situations. Yeah. Is Shamsi in it?
But Tahir is not even part of the CSK team. What are they doing with Imran Tahir? I just don't understand. When they get him on pitches which should suit his bowling, they're just putting him on the bench. He's neither with South Africa, neither with CSK. What the hell is happening with Tahir? I just don't understand.
I've got no idea. Look, another quick point, which is a sad point. 2 people died of 2 media people, one for Sri Lanka, one for West Indies. A guy called Imran Khan, who's a well-known presser, like a media manager person in West Indies, passed away, and a guy who was the assistant in Sri Lanka, and I've just forgotten his name. He was a good friend of mine. Oh my God, I've forgotten his name. Anyway, he was, I think Kumar, maybe his name. They both, 2 men passed away. It was very sad. Both young, both 41 or something, or not old at all. It's quite sad when you hear that happening. Anyway. Okay, now, another quick question before we get into the IPL, because we've got time to talk about that, is this increasing media reports about Virat Kohli and his captaincy, and about people like Pujara and Rahane being called in by Shah to talk about what's going on, about something with Rohit Sharma, and a few other people sending off messages to say that Ashwin almost rebelling about. Did you read all that?
I read that. The mutiny, Ashwin mutiny. Yes, I did.
So what's going on there? Yeah. That's sounding pretty. I mean, you know what? Honestly, I think I actually spoke to you earlier about Ashwin. The way I felt his body language was through the test series, and the fact that all 5 tests, as it turned out, he wasn't selected, was a little bit hard to comprehend, even though it worked out well with Thakur and the like playing in the test series. Something's not right there, and I think I was right. Ashwin is too headstrong a fellow to not have reacted to not being included, and he is he thinks himself as a leader, and he would be. I think Ravichandran Ashwin would be pretty difficult to be around, because in the past, Kohli's always given him the ball to bowl. When in doubt, give it to Ashwin, but he took wickets, which is not good for a team to rely on one bowler relentlessly.
Indeed.
Okay.
It's very, very difficult, Norman, because when did we start hearing murmurs about Ashwin and Kohli's problems? It started in the ICC World Test Championship final. There is a report which said that Kohli doubted Ashwin's intent. He just bowled 10 overs on the second innings, 139, with New Zealand having so many left-armers, and with Bumrah not in form. Ashwin should have bowled through. Why was he just given 10 overs? Number one, that was the murmur. Second, using the conditions as an excuse against Ashwin. That, I think, was the straw that broke the camel's back. That ended it all. That's where the mutinies come. And you saw in that game, Ashwin was livid with Saudi and Morgan. Tim Saudi, of all people, one of the nicest guys who I think is around the circuit. Ashwin was like a volcano upon him. There is a compromise thing that is happening in the Indian cricket at this point in time. There has to be no explanation as to why Ravichandran Ashwin gets to feature in the squad After 4 years in the World T20, you've left out Yajuvendra Chahal, who was your front line spinner until the tour to Australia. You've left out Chahal altogether. What explains that? The captaincy bit, probably these misjudgments. It's not the first time it's happened with Kohli. It happened with him and Rohit in 2019.
Okay, my push is I'm not wanting to necessarily put the blame on Kohli, but I look at things such as the fact that Ashwin's got his own YouTube channel when no one else in the team has got their own YouTube channel. Can you explain that with the hardline stance of the BCCI about media and players talking in general? Unless it's to, of course, Burry Majunda, they don't talk to anyone. Or a couple of select people, they don't talk to anyone. So how come Ashwin within the actual team itself is able to rule his own roost with the YouTube channel? There's a rebelliousness going on there, or a certain, not arrogance, but a certain stubbornness, I think, that I'm seeing in Ashwin. He is an incredibly good bowler. We all know that. And many, many, many test matches, maybe the last 20 or 30 or 40 test matches that he's been involved in, Kohli or Dhoni back in the day or anyone has given the ball to Ashwin from one end to take all the wickets. Okay, and it's worked in general.
Yep.
But you know what happens when you rely on one bowler so much? They start to dominate too much in terms of the team dynamics about bowling. And what perhaps Kohli and even Shastri may have tried to do is to wrench that away from him and allow Thakur, Siraj, Bumrah, blah, 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 all to contribute collectively. And you know what? In the test series, it actually worked. It actually worked. And my defense of Kohli is that I actually think that what he did do in the end was a master stroke. Whether it was him and Shastri or what, they're not putting Ashwin aside. It was not because Ashwin wasn't good enough, not that he couldn't take lots of wickets, but his dominance of the bowling lineup, despite being a good thing most of the time, is actually a bad thing as well. So maybe the WTC also told them that, hey, we rely too much on Ashwin to bowl with Jadeja. We can't have both in the side, especially in England. And Jadeja would play the game better in terms of toe the line, field well, keep his head in, bat pretty well. So Kohli and Shastri gave him a green light, pushed him up the order. Every time in a press conference would talk about how good he was and how they didn't need Ashwin. I'm sorry, I'm a pretty good judge. There's something not right there. They're actually pushing Ashwin further away, not because of him not being good enough, but the domination of a player in a team. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
It does. It does. But yet again, see, there has been no official word from the BCCI at all. They will not utter a word about this. It will only be left to sources to further stir the confusion around.
No, but I'm not judging it by a source, or I'm judging it by what I see. And if I see when a person defends in a press conference, on the field or off the field, when a person is not put on the side, but everybody expects him to be put in the side, and I was included that. I thought, oh my God, where's Ashwin? Because he's been relied upon so heavily. And it's some sort of a master stroke, because Thakur came to the fore. Bumrah had to get his act together.
Yep.
Okay? Siraj got his act together. A lot of bowlers contributed to, even Sharmi contributed. Umesh Yadav contributed. That's intriguing. Don't you think it's a bit intriguing? Because all other bowlers had to stand up and not just go, oh, Ashwin's going to get the ball. Ashwin's going to take the wickets. He'll take 5 from one end, as he always does. There's a dynamics issue there, and maybe this could spell a lesson for everyone involved. And if Kohli, he's only missing out on the T20 captaincy at this stage. He's not losing his Test captaincy.
No.
Okay. What he did with Ashwin in the Test arena was, in my opinion, now on point. Okay, get rid of him from ODI eventually, but definitely T20. Fine. Let Rohit Sharma, whomever, start to gain their, and that'll balance the overall squad. In fact, it's going to be better for India. And Ashwin can do whatever he wants to do with the right teams, play well, and get a bit of a break. But come back to the Test arena, knowing his role, perhaps, and perhaps, well, I don't know how he's, because if you saw him at Lord's, I saw Ashwin at the corner of the doorway looking very much like, I'm not going to talk here, but I could say a lot, but I'm not going to talk here. That was the look he gave. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm a master of judging a dressing room. And you may not have to not be inside the dressing room to see what happens, because they do it just outside the dressing room. Does that make sense? It really is. You can see that. I mean, even in the IPL, you see the fractures of Warner sitting there grumpy, and even in the early stages, Bairstow and Williamson having private chats well away from Warner. Then you saw Trevor Bayliss and Moody not being together. There was issues there. It was obvious to me. And Warner, after being sacked and dropped from the last match, played the goody two-shoes running around the sideline. And this time he was dropped. He didn't even turn up.
Indeed.
And where is he? Has he left altogether? Has he left the SRH bench altogether? I think he has.
Could be.
Well,
Could be.
Well, I'll be interested to see what happens next match, because he will not be selected next match. Now that Roy got 60 and Williamson got 50 odd, they're not going to put an international batter over those two when they've got two that have done well.
I think it's very, you may say, burn the bridges exit for Warner from SRH, maybe.
Well, why would you? He's got no hope. There's only a few games left. Roy and Williamson have batted well, and their captain and leading opening batter, he's gone.
It'll be very interesting to see what the 2022 IPL mega auction shapes up to be. How it shapes up to be. Because with Virat Kohli now not wanting to take up the RCB captaincy after the end of the IPL 2021, he wants to play for Bengaluru, but whether he will go into that auction pool, we don't know. We really don't know.
Well, Warner will not be there as captain. No.
Nah.
Warner's probably going to go to
some franchisee will. Yeah. Some franchisee will take up Warner.
The new so-called franchises might approach him.
Maybe. Yep. So,
all right. What else is happening? We're going to go now into the match between Bangalore and Rajasthan. The toss is still a little bit away. I had this amount of time. Yesterday's doubleheader was a rather weird day, and they're actually playing one of the matches. They're playing two of the matches at the same time. Did you see that?
Yes, they are. Yep. They are.
Why is that?
Curb potential betting, maybe.
Potential betting.
If suppose the permutation combination, one team, supposing third and fourth place is always the conundrum, they wait till the final match, what will happen? But supposing, they happen at the same time, what is that team doing? We have to get this target, we have to do this. Maybe perhaps it will not make them want to play in a certain manner. Perhaps that is one thing. Because when we look at, Mumbai have qualified. So we just have to do this much. Then they will either drop the intensity or they will play according to that situation. Because remember, SRH sneaked through the back door in 2020 when they defeated Mumbai Indians, because they knew that, the Delhi Capitals have beaten Royal Challengers Bangalore and Kolkata Knight Riders are out by Chennai Super Kings. So we'll play in this manner. Maybe it's to curb that, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just very...
Or maybe, maybe Norman, I'm way off the mark. Maybe 7:30 is the ideal broadcasting time. More eyeballs.
No, I think you're right. I think that if it's that reason, I'm not unhappy by that. Really, I'm not. I mean, I would like to see that type of scenario happen. I mean, if they want to clear up all those issues and not have any innuendo, well, then do that, for sure. I'm just trying to get this. I think I need to just forward this to Baram. He's, I think he should. All right, so, okay, let me look at some other point. We're going to talk about this IPL match more in a minute. The other match that I wanted to talk about was the women's IPL. Not IPL, women's series or multi, what was it called? What's the term?
Multi-format series.
Multi-format series, that's right. Where they've already played the ODIs.
The ODIs are done, 2-1.
And that
Australia.
was, it could well have been 2-1 India.
India. Yes.
My
Yes. Yes.
God. And did you see there's at least 6 or 7 girls playing in the BBL, women's
Yes.
BBL.
Yes. Yep.
Shefali Taylor's, Shefali
Shefali
Verma's
Verma's
playing
there.
for Sixers.
Radha Yadav was there. They joined the likes of Smriti Mandana and
Dipti Sharma.
Veda Krishnamurthy is, I think, there for them. Veda Krishnamurthy. Harmanpreet Kaur has always been a veteran in the BBL. WBBL,
She's
that
playing
is.
for Melbourne Renegades this year.
Yes.
There's Dipti Sharma's playing with
Deepti
Smriti
Sharma. Yep.
Mandana for Thunder. Shabnam
Thunder.
Ismail has a knee injury. I spoke to her only yesterday about that. She's injured. She's very upset because,
Oh.
see what someone like Shabnam Ismail is upset about is she wants to play, yes, but it's also, I'm afraid to say, the money. They earn incredible money for what they're used to earning. Okay, they're earning $20,000 or $30,000 or thereabouts. An actual tournament now, and that is ginormous money because the South African girls were on something like roughly I'm talking Australian dollars here, $3,000 a month a year or so ago. That was $1,000 too much, and they got paid the next year not to 1,000 to make up for the 1,000 they paid too much. So they're getting paid nothing for a year, right? One tournament at the Women's Big Bash for a month or two is equal to the entire wage of a year for South African player, if not more. And in the case of Sri Lankans, not that they're getting a go. I think
I know.
the one I don't think
I think there's
much
only one Sri Lankan, if I'm not mistaken, only one Sri Lankan.
yeah.
Shamari Atapattu. Yeah.
Yeah, she's playing in Adelaide. But what I'm getting at is the money they earn for their countries is, half of this one period. And I don't know how much they got paid to play the 100, but the money's starting to become okay. If someone like Shabnam Ismail plays the 100, the Women's Big Bash, and something like that, and those two, for example, she's tripled, quadrupled her income in 2 tournaments. So it's becoming extremely important.
Yeah, I mean, I just go back when you talk about earnings, Norman. Okay, I'd like to go back to that bank breaker which Chris Morris had, 16.25 crores rupees. I may say rupees 16.25 crores. There was just a comparison made. Like Morris, with that money, he can buy COVID-19 vaccines for more than 222,000 people. That kind of money in South Africa is enough to pay the minimum wages for someone working 8 hours a day, 7 days a week for more than 500 years. He can foot the bill for 270,000 inexpensive restaurant meals, buy more than 474,000 Big Macs, 2.1 million liters of milk, 2.3 million loaves of bread, and more than 12 million eggs. This is the wage bracket that Morris has earned when you compare it to other South Africans.
Yeah, South Africa is not unlike other third world countries. They do have a very high level rich group, yes, but they have a very big poor level, as in the poverty level is very, very typical.
Indeed.
But going back to the South African women, I mean, to buy a townhouse there, you're paying about 100,000 Australian dollars, right? So they're earning 20,000 one tournament. They're paying an enormous chunk off that property. So it is extremely important. So someone like Shabnam Ismail, as an example, mind you, she's going to play a few more years. She was player of the match in the final last year, the Women's Big Bash.
What a spell! What a spell she bowled.
Oh, tremendous player.
Yeah.
Tremendous. But she's hurt a knee.
Not Sydney Oval, right? That was the last final.
Yeah,
not Sydney.
I was there. Yeah, it was a great match. She was she was the difference, quite frankly.
Yep.
But what I'm getting
but
at
I think the other South Africans are there, right? Lizelle, Marizanne Kapp, Dane van Niekerk. I think they're all there.
Marizanne Kapp and Dane van Niekerk will play in every single tournament anywhere in the world. They'll go to Afghanistan if they have to, or they'll go to Iraq. They'll play anywhere. Okay. And you know what? They'll get picked as well. They're very clever girls. They seem to know how to maneuver themselves around the world. They're very, I hate to say it, they're pretty selfish girls too, to be honest with you. But that's just my thoughts. The Sri Lankan girls are just not strong enough, other than Atapatu. But I've had a lot of discussions recently with Harshan Tilakaratne, who's the ex-Sri Lankan World Cup '96 player. He's a great guy. I know him really well. He and his wife Apasari, they've taken over women's cricket now, the team. I'm so happy. You know how I had problems with the previous coach. I told you about that. Did I tell you about that?
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Okay, well, anyway, he was very, very poor coach to start with, but he was also very insecure and jealous and stopped people doing all sorts of things. This guy is embracing. He wants to improve the girls. He wants the girls to come out to Australia, all the team, not just Atapatu, and allow them to be exposed. And they're going to do a lot better under him. You watch. He's really brought their spirits up, the girls in the team, and he's not playing favourites. He just supports them all. So Baram Irani says, if a solar eclipse and lunar eclipse happen on the same day, SAH can go through. That's probably pretty good.
Well, Behram will know that in 2012 a lunar and solar eclipse did happen. I'll tell you why. CSK, they had no business of qualifying for that 4th place. They needed 4 results going their way. 4 results. 4 went their way.
And they kept on going through.
And they reached the final where they lost to KKR.
Okay. That's what you call momentum, let's be honest. If you can plan it. See, Mumbai Indians are now, they've flicked the switch now. They've gone, right, guys, we're serious. It's time. So Mumbai Indians will be a different side for the next 3 matches. We can be assured of that.
Yeah. But look, if Kolkata Knight Riders beat Mumbai Indians, barring 2010 and 2019, whenever they have beaten them, they have gone on to win the tournament. So let us be aware of that fact as well. When they won in 2014, no, they will not. No, absolutely not.
I still think it'll come down to Chennai, Delhi, or Bangalore. One of those 3 teams.
These 3 are your confirmed top 3.
And the winner will come out of those 3. I don't think the other side.
Yeah. I mean, the 4th place will once again be your prime place. What you want, which team will go through that 4th place will always be that issue. Your top 3 are secured.
My prediction at the moment is it's going to be CSK, as in Chennai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Kolkata. That's my prediction.
Earlier, I would say in the ranking order, I would say CSK 1, RCB 2, 3rd DC, 4th Mumbai.
You reckon Mumbai is still going to get through?
They know when to. They start off badly, but they can switch it on towards the fag end.
Yeah, I think this time they're just not quite that. I mean, they dropped Ishan Kishan because he was not playing well.
That's where the difference is. In 2020, that middle order was contributing. Surya Kumar, Ishan Kishan, the Pandya brothers, Pollard. But in this 2021 edition, neither Ishan has fired nor Surya Kumar has fired. The Pandya brothers are also
Pandya is not really there either. I mean, Hardik Pandya is only going to do it with the batting. He's not going to do it with the ball. I'm sorry. Pollard's probably one that we may think would be worthy of it. But look, I think they're going to stumble and not get in there this time. I think they're going to stumble. All they need is one bad match. So they played well yesterday.
Yeah.
But no,
the game against Delhi will be very, very crucial for their fortunes. The next game is against Delhi Capitals.
And crucial for Delhi as well.
Yep.
But here we are. We're talking about every other team, really, except for the most obvious. And that's Chennai.
Oh, yeah.
Dhoni, what a master. Dhoni's a master. This is his tournament. He and Rohit Sharma, but this time, I'm pretty sure this is going to be Dhoni's last tournament.
He may play in 2022.
But if they win this year, I think he'll go out. And he might end up being a mentor. The fact that he's mentor for the World Cup tells me he's already shifting to that mentor role. Once he starts being mentor for the national team, he'll pick up mentor coaching roles with the new franchises. And look, if there's a new franchise out next year, he could be paid a lot of money to head up that new franchise as a coach.
I think what will happen, Norman, is that that's my understanding of the mega auction. Maybe some franchises will be allowed to keep 2 or 3 players. Everybody else goes into the auction. Why the 2, 3 players? Because of brand value, because of brand reconnect. Rohit Sharma is associated with Mumbai Indians. He's got a brand to it. So maybe Rohit will not be let go by Mumbai Indians. Same, I think, is true with Dhoni. He may not be let go by Chennai Super Kings because
why would you? Why would you?
The franchise, the emotion, the brand is associated with Dhoni. For the others, it might happen. Maybe not for Rishabh Pant, Delhi Capitals. Maybe not.
I think Rishabh Pant's the brand of Delhi now. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but the conundrum will deepen around Virat Kohli. He's not the captain now.
Yeah, but
whether he go into a different franchise,
no, I think he's still box office. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, Behram's anyway pointing out. MI has already said that they'll keep Rohit and Bumrah. Fine. So that's about it. The rest will go into the auction pool, maybe.
Yeah.
Chennai will be keeping Dhoni and Jadeja. That's it. And RCB might potentially be keeping Kohli and De Villiers. That's about it.
Which is fair enough. Oh, what about Maxwell?
Delhi might be keeping Pant and Dhawan, if Dhawan plays, that is.
So they can only keep 2? Is that what we're hearing?
I'm hearing you can keep only 2 or 3. The rest will go into the auction pool.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Delhi will be keeping Pant and
no franchise will throw everybody out. No one will do that, will they? Williamson is now connected to Sunrisers Hyderabad. Okay, Williamson is the future captain of that team.
Look, you have to have a succession plan for some teams. Now, after Dhoni, who's the next captain of CSK? We don't know.
Yeah,
if Williamson gets into the Chennai Super Kings team, it's going to be massive. Why
would he do that if he's been? Why would he do that if Warner's on the way out from there? He could stay right where he is and get paid a lot of money to stay there.
I think the one team that needs a total overhaul, the 2 teams which need a total overhaul, are SRH and RR. They're just not going anywhere. They're just not gone anywhere.
Yeah. Although Samson's the leading runner, isn't he the orange cap holder at the moment?
But again, the problem with Rajasthan Royals is one person clicks, the rest fail.
Yeah. I mean, they had the bad luck of losing Stokes, Butler, didn't they? That was some pretty heavy losses.
Jofra Archer,
as well, yeah. I mean, what it tells me is you should never get a clump of players from one team. I know it sounds good in terms of teamsmanship or teamwork or whatever you want to call it, but I would say that, anyway, I think SRH already making their moves. They already have. They've dumped Warner. They've dropped him twice in the same tournament. Have you ever seen a player get dropped twice?
No. I think Maxwell got dropped, I think, once like that.
Twice. But okay, but he wasn't captain of Punjab, was he?
Yeah, he wasn't captain, yeah.
Warner's been dropped from the captaincy from the team. Somehow, and I don't know why, come back in. He must have begged to get another go, got out 3rd ball and 2, and they said enough's enough, Roy's in, and scored 60 on his first innings.
Yeah. Maybe if I want to play the devil's advocate, SRH might want to retain Holder. Jason Holder. Would be a great asset.
Oh, for sure. How old is Holder, though?
I think he's about 31. I think if I'm not 31 or 32. Wait, I'll just
That's
check.
not too bad.
Yeah, Jason Holder. Jason Holder. Oh my goodness, he's just 29.
Well, he's got a future, hasn't he?
Yeah, he can
Well,
very well
actually,
be SRH's new captain.
well, he captained the West Indies. It was in his early 20s when he captained the West Indies for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not think too much ahead in terms of the teams. As you said, the brand of Kohli with Bangalore, even Rahul with Punjab, Rohit with Mumbai, and Dhoni with CSK are there. But if CSK is offered, if Dhoni's offered a coaching role somewhere else, if he decides to finish on top this year, well, that's a point, isn't it? He might go somewhere else. They offer him a ridiculous amount of money. Of course, he might go.
I know. But Williamson for CSK, that would be a dream. Absolute dream.
But SRH is not going to let him go now.
Yeah. Maybe he and Holder might be your constants, maybe. Because there is no Indian contingent on that side that are worthy of being retained. Maybe Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Bhuvneshwar Kumar.
But the problem with SRH is Bayliss who was, I think, I rate him great as a coach. And it's Trevor Bayliss, who has sacked Warner twice now. I'll tell you right now. Bayliss is
but
not
will he come
around
next year? Will SRH retain Bayliss next year?
Yeah. But Moody, what the hell are they doing with Tom Moody as an extra coach there? He's wasted. He's actually.
Oh, wait.
What?
Would SRH want to retain Rashid Khan? He's your ultimate spinner. Yeah. We forgot about Rashid Khan totally.
Well, would they go for? Well, then really, you probably would see Rashid Khan with Williamson held, and maybe Holder as the third. But there's no hope in hell that we'll see Warner in SRH colours ever again.
Yep,
that's for sure.
As I said, burn the bridges exits for Warner.
Okay, you're going at 6:55. What is 6:55? That's 5 minutes before toss.
Yeah, 5 minutes before the toss. I have to take some classes.
Oh, what? You are in the class, or you're giving the class?
I'm teaching English.
Really?
Yes.
Who are your students?
Yeah, there's one student coming at 7 to 8. So I take it at home.
An individual student. You do individual classes.
Yes.
Did you realize that in Germany in the early 90s, I spent 5 years teaching English and business English in Germany?
Wow. Okay.
And I was teaching Deutsche Bank, Siemens, BMW, or medical publishing houses. I had a lot of fun.
All top brands in the world.
Oh, I had
each
a lot of
that
fun.
you said.
And I got paid a ridiculous amount of money. It was just extremely well paid. Really, I enjoyed it.
Boy.
Okay, so all right, you got another 16 minutes to go, correct?
Yeah, 16 minutes. Yep.
All right. Warner doesn't believe in bridges. Warner prefers swimming in the Iowa. Yeah, it's
lava.
Yeah. Lava is lava. Look. Please, I'm not a fan of him at the moment. He's destroying his career every minute we see him. He's destroyed his career for Australia, even though he's still on the team. If he doesn't pull his head in, he won't play for them for very long either. Justin Langer at the moment, look, Warner and Smith are battling with Justin Langer. That's the fact of it. The battle is a massive battle between Warner and Smith and Langer.
Is that injury playing on his mind? That chronic injury that is for a chronic groin injury.
Yeah, he's just. Well, hang on. You don't not announce the 4 players in your team because of your groin. That's it.
Yeah, indeed.
But he's on the Australian cricket camp. If I'm being honest with you, the bowlers, the quartet that played in the Test series, they're not fans of him. Warner's sided with Smith, but Langer's had enough of him. unless Australia get a coach in that actually gets along with Warner next time, Warner's days are numbered in all codes, I'm afraid.
Yeah, indeed.
And it's his own fault. It's no one else's fault. He's doing it to himself. If he kept his nose clean, just played good cricket, it'd be different.
You don't see David even in the Ashes if it happens. 5 tests, you don't see him.
And he's not. Don't forget, they're not playing any preparation matches for that. None.
Yep.
They're not even playing Afghanistan now. They'll play a bit of. They may get a shield. That's been cancelled. Well, not officially, but it will be cancelled because of the way the intolerance of Afghanistan over their women cricketers. That they're not going to play.
Yeah. Yep.
They've done their dash actually. All right, so to this match between. We'll get your now that I know you're going. Rajasthan Royals are probably not in the best of form overall, other than Samson. He looks good to me, doesn't he?
Yep, he does. He really looks good. And surprisingly, but in a very heartening way, he's maintained his consistency. Otherwise,
Amazing.
he would the first 2 games, he would be on top. But then after that, it would just be like a trough. That's not the case anymore. Finally, I think Samson has finally managed to hit that consistency mark. But in the next 3 games, that will be very important. Next 3-4 games. If he doesn't maintain that consistency, then we'll say, oh, no, not again.
Yeah, so you got... And also, he's partnered by Jaswal, who played very well in the previous match. He played very well.
He did. But Evan Lewis has not yet ticked. We know how good Evan Lewis is.
Yeah.
If he gets
going...
He
had a good shot the other day, but he got caught on the boundary. He hit a beautiful shot. It was a very good shot.
I know. So that's why it's very, very problematic. The top order, if it doesn't perform, Samson, if he doesn't perform, the rest of the batting lineup is nothing. Livingston, how much can he do in these kind of conditions? I have my doubts about Liam Livingston.
Yep. I remember seeing, we were talking earlier about the WBBL. We mentioned about that they've signed a number of women. It's very impressive, actually. It's, is that telling us something about the women's IPL? Because they obviously pick a lot of Australians in that, and England. There's good camaraderie.
We hope that happens. But again, unlike Australia, and maybe to a certain extent even England, there is no proper calendar for the women's cricket team. The test match that they're about to play, it's after 15 years that you're touring Australia for a test match. 15 years. It's criminal.
But I think
they're marketing this. The people here themselves don't know. They are marketing this as the first day-night test for women. It's wrong. It's not the first day-night test. What were the women's Ashes? Where Elise Perry scored that double 100 at North Sydney Oval. Yeah. And lovely bowling from Amanda Jade Wellington. I remember one ball. It was almost Shane Warne-esque, like landed on leg, hit off. I remember I don't know who's the batter involved in that. I don't know.
There's a young girl called Stella Campbell, who's I think she's played 1 game now. Good old Shimona, who was on the other night, because I'm bringing on a show tomorrow with a partner. We're bringing on a women's show for the test match. Shimona faced her in Sydney. She says she's the fastest bowler she's ever faced. So that's an interesting little development there. All right, so that's tomorrow's test match between Australia and India. Of course, it's going to be a regular thing now, Siddharth. They're going to be playing test matches every year now. You watch. India played England, now they're playing Australia. It's back on the agenda, okay? And this so-called multi-format series, I rather like it. I like it. They all count together. I really like it. So Australia have got a lot of injuries, actually. Rachel Haynes is injured.
Haynes is not there, yeah.
Sophie Molyneux.
There's Molyneux there. Sophie Molyneux.
She's also injured. I'm not sure whether she's out, but she's injured at this point. The replacement even for Rachel Haynes, who was it? I can't remember the
I
name.
think Kimmins is not there, right? Jalissa Kimmins, she's also not there. Good
Yeah,
bowler.
I think she's. I'm not sure that she's still playing. I think she may have retired. Actually. But in
Kimmins,
general, Australian
such
team
a
have got a lot
young
of
age.
injury. Oh, she's not that
Such a
young.
young age. Okay. Jalissa Kimmins is not young. I thought she
No,
was
she's not
young.
that. No, I remember coming across Delisha Kimmins in a Bunnings. How's this? I was at a Bunnings store in Brisbane. I was helping a
Okay.
cricket team do a Bunnings is like a a hardware shop, and he would
Yep.
sell sausages at the front for your local cricket team. Well, my cricket club, I was the president of a cricket club. We had a so-called sausage sizzle, and Delissa came up to me and bought a sausage, and we talked about cricket. And she said, "You know what? I play cricket." I looked at her quite disdainfully. I said, "Who for?" "For Australia." I said, "What? Really? Really?" I didn't believe her. And she got a little bit upset with me. And lo and behold, she's here now. Aparna's here now. Aparna, I'm live. Come on. I sent it to you. Okay. All right. Aparna's just saying something. All right. So, so she's trying to tell me that she's trying to tell me that she's trying to tell me that she's playing for Trump. Going, and I'm not believing it because I thought some random girl of a sausage sizzle. I thought that wasn't true. She got quite upset. It was quite funny. And then ever since then we've been friends, and I followed her and we had a bit of a laugh. We have a laugh about it very often because it's very funny.
Are she and Laura related? Laura Kimmins, Jalissa Kimmins. Are they sisters?
Kimminence, Kimmince. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. There's
And
Laura
who's the sister?
Kimmins and there's Jalissa Kimmins.
I think they are. I think they are.
Okay.
Anyway, it was just.
Yeah.
It's just. All I'm saying. All I'm saying to you is it's just funny because it was just funny because can you imagine someone sitting on there making sausage sandwiches, a bit busy, and she's going, I played for Australia. I'm saying, what? I'm just going. It's annoying me because I'm not believing it. Isn't that funny?
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I do remember Bunnings Warehouse. I mean, that's where the replay sponsors come, and anybody in the commentators they would the Bunnings Warehouse replay. So that's where I came to know. Okay, there is such a thing called the Bunnings Warehouse show. That's there.
So all the local clubs around the area can get a spot there on a weekend, and all the money then goes to their club, which is great.
Yep. Wow.
And Bunnings give you free gas and free bread, and they help you basically.
Wow.
It's very clever because you bring the whole community together, then, don't you? And it's a great way to do it. Yeah, so that'll be an interesting match. Look, the way that India play, they're only 2-1 down. If they win the Test match, let's say, and they win one or two of the ODIs, T20s, they could win the series, which will be really as incredible, not quite, but getting close to the Gabba Test. Because beating Australia after 26 straight wins, don't forget too.
Yep.
India,
that's where I think the participation of the women in all these leagues, like the 100, the Vitality Blast, even in the WBBL, is helping. Because where on earth do you play all these things in India? You don't.
No.
So glad that.
Oh, look, it's great. And it's Australian conditions as well, which helps exposure of the players.
Yeah.
It's so many good things. And now that the Indian players are there, they don't have to go through quarantine. Within a week or two, they can go straight into the WBBL. Pretty good.
Yep, indeed. Oh, Carrara weather with thunderstorms for at least 3 days.
It's funny because Carrara Oval is really an Aussie rules rugby league ground. It's not a cricket ground, but they're playing there. They've got lights though, of course. That's the big thing. So
yeah, 2 days rain, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, that's going to be interesting because the other match I told you, the rugby league grand finals in Brisbane, which is only 40 minutes away from the Gold Coast. Brisbane and the Gold Coast are 40 minutes. No, not 40 minutes, 40 kilometres. It's not far.
Wow. Yep.
It's almost like Amritsar and Lahore.
Yeah, it's very nearby. Yep.
Quite incredible. All right, so your predictions for today. Tell me what you think.
RCB winning, Kohli hitting another 50,
He's looking good.
and yeah, Rajasthan Royals not showing up their old inconsistency all over again.
Well, you've got bowlers like Norgay, he's been
Siraj.
fantastic. And
Yeah,
Rabada, my God.
yep. But again, if you look at the
James,
Rajasthan Royals bowling, there is no one with that intimidating factor who will get through to you. There's no one intimidating. Whereas with RCB, at least you have Mohammad Siraj, you have Yajvendra Chahal.
and Jamieson as well.
And I think in these conditions, Jameson's been found out. I don't think.
So
He doesn't pose that much of a risk.
But what you're describing, though, are you suggesting? I'm getting, because it's in UAE now. Let's take a step further into the World Cup. India, England, West Indies, and not New Zealand, maybe a Pakistan could be the top four.
Pakistan.
I reckon
they have that rage. They have that rage also. And I'm telling you, the way how they'll play against New Zealand, it'll be ugly. It'll be really ugly because, again, if I have to look at the myopic history of a lot of Indian fans, I can, or maybe a lot of foreign fans, I can only say one thing. New Zealand have, if you have to look at it, they have actually come out of 3 terrorist attacks alive. They just missed 3 terrorist attacks in the history: 87, 92, and 2002. So when the security threat came for New Zealand, I can very well sympathize that yes, okay, there is a threat. You don't share this out to the public domain. Agreed.
No.
But I can see absolutely no justification with England. I can't see that justification. You just followed New Zealand out. And how humiliating it is for Pakistan. When the COVID pandemic was at its peak, you relied on the West Indies and the Pakistan cricket team to come here. That saved your summer. You can't do the same for Pakistan when there is a security blanket in place. There was no threat against the England cricket team. And the England cricket board, did not mention a security threat. It mentioned coronavirus situation. Yeah. Really? Then that means either you have been hypocritical, which you are, which the English board and the English media are famed for, or you just didn't, or you were never ever serious about helping Pakistan out. Simple.
Look, the reality is that there's going to be some retaliation against New Zealand by a Muslim-based entity, and cricket's a way of doing it. Because of what happened with that Australian guy who shot all those Muslims in New Zealand, I'm afraid that's the retaliation already occurred somewhat in Sri Lanka with the Christians and the Muslims there, where they had their attacks. But they're still waiting for a retaliation for that. And let's be honest, that was a horrific attack. That was disgusting.
Yep, it was.
That wasn't just against Muslims. That was in their holy place of worship. It was disgusting.
Yep.
And that, unfortunately, that guy was an Australian, which annoys me because he did that in New Zealand and tainted New Zealand. He didn't taint Australia, which he effectively probably did. Really, he should have. Anyway. All right, so you're saying RCB over Rajasthan Royals, and you're saying that RCB, Delhi, and Chennai will go through probably, and a KKR
Mumbai
or a Mumbai will fight out the 4th spot, and the rest.
Yep. Because again, KKR's batting is very fragile. If it clicks, it clicks. If it doesn't, it just falls apart.
Yeah.
So these are my teams: CSK, RCB, Delhi Capitals, and Mumbai Indians.
So you're still saying Mumbai over KKR, okay?
Yep, Mumbai over KKR. And in this match, RCB winning because their bowling and their batting looks all round, and they have the definitive intimidation factor. Rajasthan Royals don't have that.
Yeah.
Barring Sanju Samson, there's no one who can give that intimidation factor. There's no one.
So the real issue for us will be the match between Delhi and Mumbai. That'll be the big match.
Yes. Huge. 2nd October. That'll be huge.
Well, it's not very far away. That's only, 3 days away?
Day after tomorrow, yes.
My God, it's already October. Jesus.
It's October, Norman. It's October. Winter is coming. The sad, violent piece behind. Winter is coming.
Well,
For us, at least. For you guys, it's summer.
Well, we get daylight saving, which means we'll go back forward an hour on a weekend. But it's my son's birthday tomorrow, and he's 25.
Wow. My goodness.
Which shocks me a little bit. He's 25.
Time flies, Norman. Time flies.
25. I almost can't believe it. Now, a panel's going to say hello to you as you say goodbye.
Hello.
Hi, Aparna.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you, Sid. Good to see you, Norman.
Good to see you too.
Hello.
Yep.
So, what's happening? I heard just before I joined, someone's birthday, turning 25. Your son, Norman?
That's right. And it's your birthday coming up next month on the 20th of October too, Aparna, isn't it?
I thought you were talking about me before.
No, we're talking about you now.
Why are you calling me a son, though?
Oh, what? You're not my son.
What have you planned, Norman? What have you planned for your son's birthday?
Well, he's got a new girlfriend who is very, I'm going to say, a little bit dominant, and she's planned a big day with him. So I'm actually not really that active tomorrow, which is okay. I can't expect him to come over to his daddy at 25 like a little boy. He's going to be with his girlfriend. I have to respect it, but I'll catch up with him during the week. That's all right.
Same city, Sydney. You're in Sydney. Both of you.
Yeah, but lockdown, we're not able to see each other. He's actually based. He's up near. Would you believe he's near Gordon now?
Oh my God, that's yeah.
He's living north now. He was living previously in Mascot, but he's moved from there all because of the girl. But anyway,
the situation's not improved in Sydney.
Well, not yet. October 11th. We might get a bit of an opening, and then October 25th a further opening. December 1st, they're saying when we'll really see some change, and by the end of the year we might see the borders open up between the states and then international.
Yeah, welcome to our world. What was our world in April, May?
Yeah, we're getting that now, unfortunately.
We shouldn't. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. I mean,
were you in lockdown for months, like non-stop? Wow.
March to June.
Yeah, same.
Every week if suppose lockdown was extended from April 1 to April 17th, on April 16th, lockdown extended by another 21 days. The timeline would come another 2 weeks. So from March in the second wave, March to June, totally shut.
Oh my God. Well, we have plans.
It happened in both the waves.
Yeah, both the waves.
It happened in the first wave. In 2020, my parents were 65 kilometers away. They couldn't see me for 3 months because all the borders were sealed.
Well, the parents, how long have we been in lockdown this time?
I think nearly 14 weeks now, soon. By the time 11th of October would be 14 weeks, I guess.
Well, that's 3.5 months.
June, July, August, September.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, I think
really sympathize with you guys. Really sympathize with you guys.
Actually, I haven't been able to see my family for 2 years. I haven't come home. So that's the only bit. Otherwise, I'm fine with staying indoors in Sydney. It's getting a bit sunny. Summer's coming. Winter's gone. Yeah. So, well, it's gonna get hot. Indians don't like
our winter here. It's already winter, almost winter here. October we'll get our winters here. So let's see.
So
okay, Norman, I've got to go for my class.
Before you go, I need to hear who do you support?
In this match, I will say RCB. RCB are winning this because I told Norman the same thing. their batting and bowling has got an intimidation factor. I don't see that in the Rajasthan Royals team. But in the tournament, as far as I'm concerned, I'm rooting for Chennai Super Kings. Come on, Dhoni potentially playing in his final IPL
Chennai?
as a player. Yes.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. No, but look, okay, my parents are from Chennai. I was born in Mumbai. I'm currently in Delhi. Who do I support?
Delhi.
I don't know. I was born in Mumbai, spent 20 years in that city. My parents are from Chennai. I stay in Delhi. Who do I support?
Delhi. Because you're staying in Delhi right now. I mean, you have to move on to the next level of life. So Delhi is giving
But I was
you
born
a
in
homely
Mumbai.
feeling.
I'm a Mumbaiker at heart. My schooling, my college, everything was Mumbai.
Must be hard for you from Mumbai to Delhi.
No, I found it better. I like Delhi better than Bombay.
Oh,
Oops, I think I'd
you
better
know
go
what? You're my favorite
before the
now.
Mumbai people slaughter me. Before the Mumbai guys slaughter me, I'd better leave.
Yeah, go Delhi.
The only thing, Delhi gets pretty cold. Delhi gets cold.
I love the cold. Okay. That's why I didn't like Mumbai. I didn't like the winters, whatever winters were there.
Come to Australia.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Siddharth. Thank you.
Bye.
Come on next few days.
Yeah,
okay?
good to see you.
Sure. Good to see you too, Aparna. Good to see you too. Good to see you, Norman.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks, Siddharth. Thank you.
Bye.
Aparna, how are you? You know, when you rang me earlier today twice, I was in the middle of being live on Rabbitohs TV talking. I was at Brad Ryder's place in his home looking through all the memorabilia and history of South. It was live to South. It was a very big one. You rang me twice. That was funny. I couldn't answer.
Oh, yeah, Messenger.
What were you doing?
I think I called you from Facebook because I wasn't sure if you were doing something like that. And which phone do you use?
Yeah, well, I was on my. It doesn't matter because it goes to both phones. Actually, it's a bit of an annoyance. So,
sorry.
Did you have anything you wanted to ask me? Was there something you wanted to ask me about tomorrow's test match?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you everything, but we have to talk after this show because I really didn't get time. So, how was Rabbitohs?
Well, it was
what
great.
Were
it was good fun. It was a great thing to do. We went and saw the history of Rabbitohs with some ex-players. It was a great thing. It was really good, and that's obviously Sunday's the big match, so it's very exciting indeed. Yeah. So, Aparna, did you want to talk about the phone? Is that what you want to talk about?
Oh, Not no, now, we'll talk about it later.
But that was what you wanted to talk about, the phone.
No, the interviews and stuff that you've been saying. So you've been harassing me on shows and you don't even pick up my phone. So that's on air. Everyone who's listening tonight have heard it, that Norman's been saying a lot of things. So you don't get to see that because he doesn't answer the phone.
I was live on Football Rabbitohs TV, talking my head off with Brad Ryder and Steve Maven, who are both going to be on the show before time. And no, I couldn't. I apologise. So
no, it's okay. You're busy, man.
I know. So tomorrow, Aparna, we've got to get ready for the Australia versus. Okay, we needed to just. Oh, I've got an announcement. RCB have won the toss and have opted to bowl. Cole Jamieson misses out. George Garton's getting a berth, which is interesting. So RCB, it looks like teams are now choosing to. They're choosing to. How would you describe it? They're choosing to win the toss and bowl, not bat. Interesting.
You know, toss is very important, especially in a format like T20. So who won the toss?
Kohli won the toss.
Okay.
And he has decided to bowl. So he's effectively put Samson and his team into bat. And he's expecting them to fail. But RCB seems to be pretty good at chasing at the moment. Oh, they're doing both pretty well. But
so who are you supporting, Norman, today?
So RCB is going to win.
I would agree with you.
We were talking earlier, both Sid and I, and we said that we both said that RCB, they'll win today, and that'll put them through. Well, they've got to win one more game after today, and that'll put through Chennai, Delhi, and Bangalore into the semi-finals. It's only the fourth spot that's left, and that will be a decision between Kolkata, Mumbai still. The rest you can forget about. That seems to be the word. So Tiagi's back.
I think Delhi's going to win this time for overall this IPL 14 season.
Oh well, they should. But I was listening very carefully what Siddharth said. Delhi are going through the little slump now. They lost the previous match pretty badly. And one of a couple of losses which they can afford to do as long as they come back. And this is where Mumbai Indians pull out their fingers and really go for a so-called victory here. So this is where, but I think Mumbai Indians have left their run too late. That's what we both thought, don't you think? Mumbai Indians have to win all their matches now. And they can't afford.
I think they started bad. They, as I said yesterday as well, they made a lot of concern for batting. It has been really, and that used to be one of their strongest. They've won 5 times champions for IPL, it's a huge thing. So for them performing like this is something, that funny example that I gave you is, it's not, they're not doing any shot. It's not firing. And that's the only thing that worked for them. So they had to sort it out, which they left it for too long. It's too late for them, I think.
Well, it's becoming too late. Very, very quickly becoming too late.
Next season, good luck to them. This time, give it to Delhi, because even Sid said he likes Delhi better than Mumbai. So go Delhi.
I mean, Delhi had, they are in the box seat. CSK are quietly going about their business, and RCB are coming back now as well. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting semi-finals, I think, because no matter who's in there except for Mumbai, the rest are going to be open slather for them, meaning they've got a pretty good chance of creating a bit of history here. It'll be great. I'm very excited by it. I think it'll be a great semi-final format.
I'm very happy that Steve Smith played.
Yeah. He played pretty well, although you want Prithvi Shaw back.
Why is that?
So George Garton, you haven't seen George Garton play, have you yet? He's a bowler for England. He's a pretty good bowler for England. Behram Irani's joining us. Hello.
Hi, Aparna. Hi, Norman.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
By the way, I don't have your bottle.
Yeah, I got it back.
I didn't receive
any
bottle.
Irani, say your apologies now.
First.
It was funny, but maybe you just
No,
apologize.
I left it at the gym. I thought it was at the wrong place.
Man,
But how can a partner have
private
your bottle
jet
when
rich.
she's in Australia and you're
You go to gym from
her?
country to country. That's interesting.
It was fun.
Crossing all requirements. I have an Australia visa, so I can come there. No issue.
Hey, I've got Indian visa too. I can't even go home. It's COVID.
Yeah.
I've got Dubai visa too. I can't even go there. I'll give you a bottle back if you can do that for me and Norman.
Well, can you play tennis, Behram? Because I'm going to smash, this Indian female. I think she's pretty good. We'll see. How much do you want to bet? I bet $1,000 that I beat you.
Speaks the cricketer who got out for a duck the first time I watched you play, Norman.
I didn't get out for. Did I get out for a duck?
Oh, it was a run out. Hang on. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But I mean, I took wickets when I bowled. Beg your pardon.
Yeah.
I took wickets when I bowled. All right. So, did you see Behram? Bangalore have won the toss and opted the bowl. Jamison is not in the team. George Garton's been given a go. From an RCB perspective, they've got the sides are Kohli, Padikkal, Bharat, Maxwell, De Villiers, Christian. I'm glad Dan Christian's there. Garton, Shabazz, Harshal, Chahal, and Siraj. It's a pretty good side. Rajasthan Royals, well, they've got Lewis still opening with Jaswal, Samson, Livingston, Lomraw, Parag, Swatia, Morris, Tiagi, Zakaria, and Mustafa. So really, that's not a bad side either. This should be a good game.
Well, it's also becoming a norm that if you see last many matches that if you win the toss, you bowl. That's becoming a norm.
Yeah.
Becoming a Norman.
So to elect to win the toss and bowl means that you fancy yourself to bat second, okay? And it means the dew factor isn't severe. Correct? So a UAE doesn't seem to have as much dew as what India does. Is that a fair comment?
Yes.
You've been to Dubai, haven't you, partner?
Yes, I have plenty of times. I think last visit was in 2019, which was my last visit for India as well. I think would be for most of the people. Yeah, it's just a lovely place. If the COVID wasn't here, Norman, we would be definitely in Dubai or UAE, wherever the matches are, especially for the World Cup. I don't want to miss that. It's really disappointing that we won't be able to see World Cup T20.
Yeah. Look, it's been really frustrating this year. I was meant to go to India many times. In fact, we were, you and I, partner, even our good old mates, what's his name? I've forgotten his name, Jesus. Who's our mate from WA?
Yashpal?
No, Alan Mullally.
No.
So, look, the reality is that we'll get next year, there's a World Cup for women in New Zealand in February. And I will, partner, because you've been so good, if you want to go, I'm not sure whether your visa will allow you to. It probably will New Zealand. New Zealand's got a good enough from the the World Cup. We'll go and cover that live.
No, ODI or T20? What World Cup is it?
It's the ODI.
Okay.
Oh, hang on.
No, ODI.
T20.
T20 happened before February 2019.
No, that was the ODI World Cup, Women's World Cup. This is the T20 Women's World Cup.
I got confused. It's been 2 years. Nothing has happened.
No, remember I went there with Shimona for the final. Right. And
Katy Perry sang.
Australia played India in that final. It'll be New Zealand next year. It's meant to be February. It might be March. Who knows? But they've also got, apparently the poor Sri Lankan girls have to go to Zimbabwe to play a series, which is going to be very difficult with all these COVID restrictions. They're going to go to Zimbabwe. It's going to be a bit of a messy trip. But yeah. But next year, then we'll have, in 2023, and Bahram, you can come along too. Aparna and I are going to go to England. It will be hosted by Chris Vernon and his family and his estate. We're going to go and watch the Ashes, and we'll go to India. That's what my channel's going to do, everyone. Once we start getting freedom to travel, we're going all over the place. We're not going to sit here. We've been very lucky that we've been able to broadcast this from our home.
So you will not be able to get rid of me and Norman. You will see us more.
That's all right. Well, I'll put up with you. I'll just make sure that you're in another end of the hotel, and I'll be on the other end. So no, I'm joking. But now, Chris Vernon, look, we've got some great friends, Aparna. We've got some great friends around the world and in India. Obviously you have in India, but England, we certainly will have a great time. We're going to go anywhere we can where India's playing and where a World Cup's playing or a major tournament like an Ashes, women's. Definitely the trip. Well, let's plan now. We'll be having Test cricket here, of course, but
the good old days where you could travel freely.
Yeah. Bahram, when did you first view my channel?
I think December last year.
Really? All right, back in the beginning.
You still don't follow my channel, I think. How rude is that?
Aparna, no, seriously, when I search Aparna Saini on your Norman's channel pops up. Just a feedback giving you. I tried it twice.
Oh my God, because you know what? You're right. He's got more videos than me of mine.
No, seriously, when I YouTube and I search for your channel, Norman's channel pops up and I can't even find your channel. Maybe in
thank
some
you.
of the videos you put it at the description or something so we can click and go.
A different photo and everything.
That's good to know. No, thank you. We'll look after that one.
Yeah, but you're getting content, which is great. All right, so we've got 15 before the game starts.
Prabhanjan asking who will win today. What's your view, Aparna?
Yes, let's talk about. Thanks. Yeah, otherwise we get carried away.
Baram, what's your thoughts?
What's your thoughts?
For me, see, I'm supporting Mumbai, so RCB has to win for that. So I'm supporting RCB.
Oh, I think everyone is supporting RCB. I think Sid was as well. I think Norman said the same thing, and with RCB as well. Because Rajasthan had a poor start. I mean, of the UAE, the whole league. This season has been really hasn't worked out for them. I mean, they pulled a rabbit out of their hat to beat the Punjab Kings. It's a fair say in the last ball thriller. So, whereas Bangalore, recovered from a very terrible start, which featured obviously KKR and the Chennai Super Kings to put it across Mumbai Indians, in the previous game. That win has helped themselves to cut above, which has been great. So, which has been an advantage, I would say. I can definitely, it's a clear, be struggling. I think Rajasthan today, it's going to be very hard for them. But good to watch. I mean, for me, I think it's a clear answer. RCB going to win easy.
RCB, see, we are talking about the top three, but let me tell you, RCB is not out of the the slump also. I mean, they are still under the water. Because if, let's say, RCB lose today, their run rate is also very bad. Even their run rate will fall much more, and there is even a possibility that next two games they lose and they would be out. They won't be in the top four. That's also a possibility.
It is possible. It is possible.
And very reasonable possibility. Because their run rate is very bad.
Yeah, their batting lineup isn't, the best right now. But Harshal Patel's brilliant execution, and even Chahal has been threatening his spells. So, could work out, but good to know they are not really. I thought they were.
Well, look, if RCB win today, look, let's not forget that Kohli over the last two matches has got two good 50s. He's returning to form pretty quickly here. I think he's mentally freshened up with this whole, I'm not going to be captaining RCB anymore. I think it's freed him up now. I think it's a great thing. I think we'll see. I did actually, Baram, I did mention to Siddharth about the message you've been sending me about the issues around the Kohli captaincy. And I think I told you all earlier that I thought Ashwin had a real problem with not being selected based on some rift and you're proving that. It looks as though the fact that Ashwin's got his own YouTube channel, he's doing everything what he wants to do. He's very rebellious. He's always been relied upon to be the lead bowler too much, and Kohli tried to break that, and Ashwin doesn't like that. It's caused problems. There's no doubt.
No, but that thing is very serious. Means, and this is, I'm telling you, it's based on what the reports are going on. I'm telling you, it's factually very true also. That after the WTC, and we heard that from Kohli also, he made that comment that there was no intent. So obviously, he would have highlighted that to some people, and even the names are who are the people who called up.
I even think Ashwin would like to captain India
for Test.
Well,
I'm not sure about that one.
Just now, but it might work. I think Ashwin's got some thoughts of wanting to be captain, to be honest.
If Kumble comes as a coach, who knows? Because again, there's a Kumble, Kohli, we knew what happened before.
Oh boy.
The water is getting very murky, Norman. Like, it's getting murkier and murkier, and it's getting complicated and complicated.
Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because I'll go back to Kohli again. He's played the most matches as Test captain. He's won the most matches. He's got the highest percentage rate. No one should be able to touch him. I'm sorry. In Test matches. T20, ODIs, different story. Aparna, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm shocked with the comment that you said Ashwin would want to take on captaincy. I don't say that. It'd be very shocking as much as it has been, though we see the writing on the wall with Virat Kohli. It would be very shocking if Ashwin raised his hand up for taking captaincy in any of the format. I mean, I think we were talking about that. Is he going to retire? I mean, Chris Warnham saying that I think he should retire, which I don't agree with. So coming from that conversation to saying that he might be the captain, I think it's a very broad, far-off journey, which is not practical.
Yeah, look, the reality is that I don't think Rohit Sharma has any desires to be Test captain. Rahane may, but he's very conservative about it. But Tests are not the issue. It's about the T20 format. Who do you think should be the captain, Baram, of the T20 side?
Both T20 and ODI, I would say Rohit Sharma.
Okay.
At least
I think
for
ODI,
next
Sharma.
3 years, and then depending on what's the situation with KL Rahul or Pant, see where that goes. Or who knows,
KL Rahul is. I
Prithvi Shaw.
think he's good. He's more looks. Rahul Dravid, Saurav Ganguly. I mean, you have to have that calmness, that level of patience. Though aggressiveness has worked out. Virat Kohli has done absolutely amazing in his captaincy for whatever he was. But, I think people prefer has been a format that a patient, a very calm, reserved person suit more for an image of a captain. But you see, Dhoni was same, Saurav Ganguly same. Virat Kohli has been the only person, Indian captains, that is aggressive with his game on field, off field.
Now look at this comment. Well, can we? What do you know about that? Is there any truth to that?
Can't say where this is a theory of no name.
No, the person's not got a name. It's pretty hard to talk. I mean, yeah, I don't think Kohli systematically does anything. I think it's a bit hard.
I won't comment on rumors, Norman. What's the fact? Is it a fact or is it a question?
About what I just put up a minute ago?
Yeah.
There was no question.
If you're going to talk about regions and players, name them. The person with no name means to name them. Look. We have to understand that Kohli has to start to concentrate on one format, not all three formats, and that's fine. That's accepted now. Kohli's made that admission himself. I think he's moving away from T20 format. ODI, not just yet, but he will eventually move away from that too, and he'll concentrate on tests. And why shouldn't he? He's been a fantastic statistically in tests. Rohit is not a team-oriented guy.
I can also put it this way, Norman, that Kohli is unnecessarily poking his nose where he should not. Like deciding who should be the vice captain or should not be the vice captain. This is all, I think, the board decision. For his succession planning, like who should be the captain. He can just give advice. He cannot dictate.
Insecurities and comes from the superiority, when you have been in that position for so long. Insecurity of, we've seen a track record, when Dhoni took over Saurav Ganguly slowly was out of the team from all formats eventually. So it does play in mind of the people. So half of the time they're battling between struggling to actually perform while they're doing the captaincy. And then after that, when they back off or come off the captaincy, they're insecure about losing their spot in the team because there's so much talent. They know, they've seen it. So, it's been something that might be playing. That's why he's doing that. Anyway, that's I think that. Wouldn't you agree, Beram or Norman?
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing to say on that. Completely agree.
Okay.
No, otherwise, why would he be poking? Is insecurity, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
See,
absolutely.
like, I have a long nose, but I prefer not to poke it in other people's business.
Look, I just don't think that. Look, Kohli's test performances cannot be questioned, even though there's been some bad decisions here and there in matches. His record is the most successful by a country mile. No one can question Kohli's record as a test captain. So we'll put that to one side. His T20 selections haven't been that bad, but he needs to let them go to free him up to concentrate on one format. I think that's a fair point. That's why he's done that decision. And it's very respected. He still wants to play T20. ODIs, he's got an incredible record as well. So he needs to, as he gets older now, how old is he? I always forget his age. Ramapana, can you look up Kohli's age?
I'm not wrong.
I think it would be 40. That's just a guess.
You're asking about Kohli's age, right?
Kohli's age.
Yeah, 33, I think.
Well, that's
32.
still young. He'll probably play as a test player for another 5 years, potentially.
See, Norman, I'll put it this way. The biggest disconnect what the majority of fans or majority of Indian supporters have is not winning any silverware. And let me tell you, nobody remembers what bilateral series you won, except for tests like, okay, some. Now, that is okay, you will remember for the next 10 years, 15 years, not like 25, 30 years from now, still young kids in India will know that, 83 India won the World Cup. At least that will be there. The team will be there. This will be there. That's the disconnect what is happening with Kohli. I think he played four like tournaments where he could have won and he had a very good team. So not winning them, for me, biggest draw was this WTC. I think, and that's where I think he was like going over the line over there.
And that's because it was at England too, and they realised they can't play two spinners all the time.
And forget ICC trophies. You look at his IPL, not won a single IPL, and he's been the captain since now how long? 9 years. I don't even know. And it's not that RCB has a bad team. Like if you look on paper, they are one of the top teams. And every other team which have a good team on paper have at least won the IPL once. Kohli not winning it means that tells something, that something is definitely missing or wrong or he's unlucky, whatever, however you put it. But in the end, it's the trophy.
There comes the Indian superstition star. He's unlucky. Get him off the captaincy, we might win.
Yeah, but
I mean, look.
Again and again, right?
I mean, you can't say.
I agree.
Look, I don't want to start talking about myself about his record at RCB as captain. Okay, he hasn't won. Fair enough. But he's been an outstanding player, hasn't he? So he's realised that now that he needs to concentrate.
Yeah, but last 2-3 years, even that has been a question.
Yeah, I think that we've got to remember.
Even with Steve Smith, just because you said that comment, I mean, Norman, you've been saying a lot about Australian players not performing. Now, when they're performing, I think hopefully we can hear some good words about Australian players from you.
Because I'm the first
trade.
one. I want Australia to do well.
They're listening.
And I'm very happy. But the truth is, they haven't. They've had the last 12 months has been one of the worst years of Australian cricket for a long time. They got beaten at the Gabba against England. They lost a whole series of games earlier with Aaron Finch in the shorter format. They didn't play against South Africa. Then now in the IPL, their players like Warner imploding and getting dropped as captain. How can I talk well about them? I'm hoping they do well at the Ashes. I would love to see Warner and Smith get big centuries in Australia. I'd love that. but we are going through some severe problems. I love Australian cricket, especially when they're at their best. When Ponting wore, you wouldn't hear me stop talking about it. Back in the 1970s, I loved Australia. It's the attitude of the players since Sandpaper Gate that's disgusted me. Really.
And Norman, also, I don't see like a talent pool of Australia, like good players coming up, like what we used to see in the 90s and the 2000s. Like, is there something wrong in the domestic structure? Like something has changed or something?
Look, COVID hasn't helped. We know that, okay? But we just generally haven't had... To do well domestically, you need to also have players playing well at the national level. It's a two-folded question. Young guys aspire to be like their national heroes. And if you've got Sandpaper Gate, people being sacked and blah, 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 you've got nobody to look up to. So domestically, there's still Jason Sangha, who plays for Randwick, who's, to me, the future of Australian cricket with Pekovsky. They're great players. If Jason Sangha becomes the next major Australian captain in the next couple of years, Australia's in a good spot. I'll tell you right now. He is he's Barack Obama-like, meaning he's the most incredibly well-spoken, intelligent, elegant player. He meets all of he's Indian background, but is living in Australia. But, there's all these positives about his overall status. And Usman Khawaja is another person they should be giving more of a go of. And if they bite the bullet and give these guys a go, you'll see a change. Curtis Patterson playing for New South Wales is a great player. Cameron Green. They've got players coming through. They're just not getting... They're being blocked by the Warner Smith fiasco and the Justin Langer fiasco. And this whole... Look, again, Gabba, we lost. We lost in bloody... we lost everywhere. We lost West Indies and Bangladesh. The best players didn't go. It's been a mess. Okay, the game must have started...
I think, Norman, my perspective on that is I think it's a shift for more towards women's side coming from Australia. Is it fair to say? So they're focusing more on women cricket because men have been busy playing rugby and NRL, AFL, that sorts of, because that is promoted. So it's all about broadcasters. It is so much on the TV. You don't see that much broadcasting or advertising about cricket in Australia that much. Whereas in India, it's a different story. And it's been more women like, Hayley, there's so many. Obviously, there has not been, a lot of men-focused games, sort of a trend that goes with most of the countries, say Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, those countries. So I think that the shift is actually, it's becoming a woman more accepted or interested, I would say. They're taking more interest of a woman talent out there is amazing, even in Australia. That's why they're doing so great. And that's why I was so proud that India were able to actually defeat them. So that proves that India is doing good too. Just need a little bit of support. So that's, I think,
there's nothing wrong with that. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. Look, I just think that Australia has coach and the main players, the Warners and the Smiths, they've got to sort that out pretty quick, okay? And they can get young guys like Jason Sangha through, and then it'll change completely. So this guy, George Garton, you should see him at the Parner. His left-arm bowler looks pretty good. England have got some great players coming through, I tell you what.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Australia there.
So Parner tomorrow, what do you want to do? We've got the test match starting. I'm not sure the exact time. I think it's in the afternoon. Are you able to be ready for that? Do you want to do a pre-show for that?
Yeah. We have to organise
we'll get some panels. Shimona. Why don't you try and work on Shabs? She said no to me.
Sorry, I forgot to talk to her.
Remember Malaysia once you had one...
What's that?
A Malaysian captain or women's cricket
Winifred?
player.
Yeah, if she's available, I'll get her too. She's very, very clever. We're going to get them all on. So she's brilliant. So that'll be great. All right, so Aparna, you're leading the show. You're going to do the thumbnails, everything. We'll do it on your platform if you want. I don't have to do it on my platform. You can do it on your platform.
Yeah, sure. We can do a collaboration as well if you want.
Yeah.
Since
absolutely.
We have been doing so far.
A link, Aparna, where to subscribe to our channel.
Yes, I will. I've commented so many times in the message box, so I was hoping people can say, which I'll do.
Comment on this video.
Yes, I will.
I told you to do that.
I'll do now.
Baram, what you've just said to her, I've told the partner 450 billion
And I have.
Not in the live chat, in the comments after the video.
No, Norman,
okay, sorry. I didn't live chat.
You should get Indianized now. So in India, we say 1,760 times. I don't know why that number, but so like.
No, I've got a banner. Hang on. You didn't see my banner from last night, did you?
Norman, we were there who were coaxing you to put up the banner.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So what am I putting up? What am I writing here? I'm writing who's batting? It's Rajasthan Royals.
I thought you're writing Norman is the best.
No, that's not a good start. I shouldn't be lying, you know. We are journalists, come media. We should give that exact information without spicing up, and which you said was completely opposite.
So Norman is not the best.
Oh, he's best, just not nice.
There we are. Rajasthan Royals batting. I'm gonna say though, I'm gonna add. Hang on. What's this ticker? Edit. Okay.
Just put the score and the overs and update after each over, Norman. Yeah, you can do that. Me and Aparna will carry on with the show. I actually went. You're on mute, Aparna. You're on mute.
That's actually good. I was in shock. I didn't even realize I was on mute.
I'm back.
Oh, that wasn't long. Look, he's like Aladdin.
Oh, we spoke.
I can't hear you guys now.
Where were you so long?
I can't hear you.
You want to play Dust Raj?
Let's read some comments.
I can't. Can you hear me?
Prabhanjan, what quote?
Yes.
What quote about? Yeah, I
can't hear you guys now. What have I done?
RR is already struggling by Manu John. Yeah, there are 4. At least no wicket down. That's something good. But
thanks, Prabhanjan. I will subscribe.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Norman. Loud and clear.
I can't
Someone said journalist with integrity.
Jesus,
is this a stand-up session? Bit of both. And we're multi-talented. So what's wrong in that? Don't you like journalists with a bit of humor?
Why not?
But thank you for your comment. Ghost.
No name. Yeah,
I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I've done it. It's okay.
Actually, we could hear you before also, but me and Aparna were acting as if we could not hear you.
You were acting? No, because I hit a button. I was doing something silly. It was just me.
No, I was ignoring. Like, all right, the show must go on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to edit now. I want to write
silly Koshanik.
All right.
Like Alan Spider Mulali will have Norman silly Koshanik.
What did you say?
I'm saying like Alan he puts his name Alan Spider Mulali. I don't know where the spider came from.
He was known. Spider. Google it.
He had some nickname.
Because there was someone in the team, which is similar, something. He told us the story, Norman, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Can't exactly remember, so I won't try to put in words. I'll leave it for Norman.
Here we go. Here it is. Here it is.
But there's a reason behind it, Beram. It's very interesting. There's a reason behind it. The spider.
Rajasthan Royals batting at Cricket Conversations with Aparna Saini.
Are they batting at Cricket Conversations?
Well,
that's so
cool. Now, you're giving me a really hard time here.
Oh, do that again. I want to take a screenshot.
What? Hang on. It's back again. There we are. See?
So the same show right now is going on your channel also?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a dual platform.
Yeah, so guys, it's a collaboration. I mean, as I've always said, whoever is watching from my side, please subscribe to Norman's channel, which is Eyes on Cricket, with none other than Norman Kochnak. And my channel is... Thank you. So, guys, look, now Behram has done it. Please go right now and type in Cricket Conversation with Aparna Seni. If you are confused with my name, it's on the screen. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Not LinkedIn.
Well, you should, Instagram. What's your Instagram thing? Put your
My Instagram one is on the screen, but you can't see.
Okay.
Prabhanjan says
yeah, it's @Seni_02.
Oh. Prabhanjan says he will retire. He's referring to Kohli.
Aparna, tomorrow, I know we don't normally do this. We should sit together for the first day of the women's game and have a computer together. We can play with all the graphics and everything. Can we do that tomorrow? Because it's going to be daytime.
Yeah, sure.
So
as I said, you don't answer my phone.
We can go to Coogee Beach or something or whatever.
So, guys, Norman says a lot of things. It doesn't happen because he's busy, man. Doesn't answer the phone.
Y'all can meet now. Means y'all can meet now, Norman. It's allowed to meet.
Well, I think Aparna, we can meet now. We can.
We can do a picnic. We need double shot vaccines, so.
All right. So what we'll do tomorrow is I'll take the tripods and the microphones and everything. We'll go to a location. We'll do it from there.
And it's raining, so do consider that.
Oh God.
For 2 days.
We can still go somewhere undercover. Like go to the opera.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just letting you know. So, you can't go out in there and you want to do a video or whatever.
We can go to Circular Quay underneath the awning, which looks towards Harbour Bridge Opera House, undercover.
Not far from my place. If you're willing to come that far.
Oh, you lazy pup. Seriously.
Oh, well, so, on that note.
You're going to go? She already left.
No. Hang on.
What are you doing on your black screen?
Oh, because I got a call coming in. So I'm trying to reconnect.
So you can... Rajasthan Royals are bucking up now. 6.
Yeah, I know. They're done for 16.
Last 5 balls went for 18 runs.
Well, Glenn Maxwell's bowling. He is so important for Australia. It's not funny. He is so important.
Hey, yesterday Steve Smith also batted very well, Norman. Not bad.
He did. A little bit slow, but he did bat well. He batted well.
But he got tired very fast. I think he was not able to...
Well, he hasn't played much cricket. He hasn't played any cricket for God knows how long. They're in a real pickle. I mean, the Australian team...
No one has asked me, what do I think? Or who's going to win? That's so rude, Norman.
I was going to ask, you kept on going, Aparna Seni, who's going to win between these two sides and the overall competition, and they'll be the last 4.
Hang on, aren't you listening? I've already answered that. Now I'm going to tell you why. Delhi Capitals, I think, would be definitely in the last 4, as we can see already, if they don't go on the path how they played last time. Definitely Chennai Super Kings, and it could be between Delhi and Chennai final. I can definitely see Bangalore in there, and it could be between KKR and Mumbai Indians for the 4th spot. But I think more, I would say KKR, not Mumbai Indians, because their batting is not improving. And today's match, as Rajasthan have a lot more to play for, especially in this game. I mean, but I think, it's essential for them to actually, lift the game up against Bangalore. And that could motivate them to exceed expectations a little bit because, as I said, this hasn't been their year. Players like, Livingstone and are due for a big knock as well. I mean, we haven't seen that game from them yet.
No.
And as well as for Rajasthan Royals, just don't have the batting firepower to compete with the Bangalore at the moment. I mean, we haven't seen this. The law of averages is bound to catch up with Samson at some point in the near future, and the bowling attack hasn't shown enough as well to suggest that they can counter likes of they've got massive threats from Maxwell, Kohli, De Villiers, so there's so many that it'd be very hard for them to actually turn it around. So I can see Bangalore winning today's match.
Okay, but Evan Lewis is still there. He's looking good. He's just hit George Gatton out of the ground with a massive 6.
I think they're picking up the pace. But if RCB lose this match, Norman, they are in soup. They are in soup.
Because they've got some difficult teams to play against, haven't they?
Yeah, both KKR and Mumbai Indians will be breathing down their necks.
But if they win today, that'll change things around.
Yeah, let's see, we are just 4 hours away.
There's an attempt at stuffing.
All right, Norman, we will talk. Please answer my phone. We definitely up for it. Yeah, sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Good to see you, Mehman, and always a pleasure, Norman.
Bye.
Tomorrow, I'll talk earlier, okay?
Sure. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah, look, it's the women's tournament. India are doing really well. I don't know how. I wonder how much the Indian press are now watching that. There's a bit more attention on that, isn't there? Right?
Who's watching? Can you repeat?
The women's multi-format tournament happening in Australia between Australia and India. The fact that India won that third ODI and almost won the second. Now there's a test match. There must be a bit more attention on Australia versus India in a women's test match. Surely there'll be some people watching that.
Slowly, even how can I say, like, people are being interested towards watching women's cricket, especially, and they are doing good here and there. So that's also something to watch out. So that's also something which will definitely. Now it depends when the women's IPL will happen and how they will do that. So that is okay.
I think so too.
It's really getting, I don't know, right from after this up to next year, the amount of cricket looks humongous. You said you will be running around. You will be always running around for sure.
But you know what? We need a break now. I think it's become a little bit. This much has been so full on with this IPL being broken up twice, then the World Cup coming next month. Then at least there's a bit of a gap with some test matches, but it won't be as intense, thank gosh.
Yeah, you have the India, New Zealand, then you have India going to South Africa, then you have the Ashes, then you have the IPL, what do you say?
Next chapter of the IPL.
Yeah, and if 10 teams, we are looking at 3-month IPL. 3-month IPL is going to be ridiculous. Like, I don't know how.
Look, they have to look at that because 3 months is too long. It's too long. They can't have 3 months of IPL. It's too long.
It's 1/4 of the year if you're talking about 3 months. 25% of the year is gone.
Well, I mean, a 5 test series doesn't last that long. It's really too long. It's way, way too long. They have to really work on that. That's going to be a major problem, I think, personally. All right, so at the moment, right, some rules. And Evan Lewis is going nuts. He said another 6.
Yeah, 4 overs already. First 2 overs, there were just 4 runs. And 4 overs there for first 2 overs, there was just 4 runs. And now 4 overs.
That was the 500th 6 of this tournament.
You're keeping
so
count.
3,000 runs have come from 6s. Wow. I tell you what, the reality is that if Rajasthan Royals win this match, as you said, oh boy, RCB will have to start look over the shoulder, won't they?
See, because KKR and Mumbai Indians, they both play Rajasthan Royals and SRH in the 2 of the 3 matches of Rajasthan and SRH. KKR, I think, plays Punjab Kings, so that will be a big match for them. And Mumbai Indians plays DC, so that again will be another big match for them. And who knows? See, if Rajasthan Royal wins today, they will also say that they are in the hunt. So they will also buck up.
No, it's interesting. It's. I thought it would be a lot more clear cut, but it doesn't seem to be going quite that way at this point. So, always been caught. Evan Lewis has always he dropped. It went straight down Glenn Maxwell's throat. It looks like it might have bounced. The one Australian player that I'm impressed with, I think is going to be very important in the World Cup, is Glenn Maxwell.
Correct.
He should captain Australia. He should captain Australia. He's got that Warner-like efforts, really.
And play left-handed.
Well, he can.
He throws better left-handed than right-handed.
He can. Did you see the photo I put on the community page of Jayanara Alam, the Bangladesh women cricketer? Have a look at it. She's on a motorbike. Oh my God, she looks good.
Okay,
AB de Villiers is starting to. I just noticed AB de Villiers is taking a more active role in almost the form of captaincy at the moment. Maybe Kohli's letting him take on charge a bit.
Could be. Who knows? Norman, I'll take a leave then.
All right, and I'm going to be going soon too. All right, Bram, thank you very much. We'll see each other next
Bye-bye.
week.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Bram. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we'll come to a finish now too. I think we've got some Rajasthan Royals on none for 39 after some 4 overs, and Jaswal and Lewis are both batting very well. Harshal was bowling; he's very well. Rajasthan Royals could give this a bit of a shake. They need to win. They desperately need to win. Let's hope that we get an interesting match. I think we will. All right. I think I'm going to go as well, guys. So thanks for your time today. It's been wonderful. Again, view, like, and share the post. Go to @NormanKotch on my Twitter and my Instagram accounts. YouTube is Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kotchling, as you know, there. And then you have the notification button, my LinkedIn and my Facebook have my full name. So all the best, guys. See you tomorrow.